the Devil's Belt. Investigating a man's mysterious death, the psychics will reveal an incredible mystical anomaly. Will the clairvoyants be able to stop the deadly force that is hunting people? This is Psychic Investigations, a project of real and stunning stories. Here, people who call themselves clairvoyants investigate tangled criminal cases and mysterious paranormal phenomena. Anastasia Okushko has turned to the psychics for help. She emigrated to Germany and only visits Kiev twice a year for major holidays. However, her last trip was due to a tragic event. Her only brother, Maxim, died under mysterious circumstances on Christmas night. He was 32 years old at the time of his death. Maxim was the dearest person in the world to Anastasia, but now he's gone.
I hope the psychics will help me find out what really happened.
Maxim was a tile layer by profession. He lived alone and planned to celebrate Christmas with his friends. His sister still doesn't understand what happened that tragic night. How did he end up unconscious with multiple injuries in the middle of the road? According to the police, it was an accident. A car traveling at high speed hit Maxim near his home.
According to the investigation, the road accident occurred on the night of January 7th to 8th. An ambulance took 32-year-old Maxim Okushko to the intensive care unit with multiple injuries. His condition was critical.
Doctors tried to save him for a week, but his injuries were incompatible with life. Maxim died without regaining consciousness.
His head was severely injured. He had an open skull fracture and multiple bruises.
What's strange is that the police apparently found the culprit of the hit and run. However, the perpetrator has not been punished for some reason. Therefore, the question arises, is the man really guilty, or are the police officers trying to pin the crime on him while the real criminal is still at large?
Hit and run remains the chief version of the local investigators.
But Anastasia insists that her brother's body had injuries uncharacteristic of a car accident. She got the impression that he was severely beaten and then thrown under the wheels.
His eyebrow and eye were bruised. It hurts me that my brother is gone, that he died. But his killer is free.
A psychic from Kiev, Dmytro Dulski, takes on the investigation of this case. He calls himself a necromancer.
It seems like the guy simply fell into a black hole. He was clinging to life with his last strength. But an incomprehensible, incredibly powerful force left him not a single chance.
A hereditary psychic, Olena Kurilova, will also work on the case.
The man's death is just the tip of the iceberg. We'll see more deaths.
The psychics arrive at the scene, where, according to the police officials, the road accident took place. Maxim's sister, Anastasia, and his girlfriend, Svitlana, are already waiting for them here. The neighbors and friends also gathered, all wanting to know what really happened to Maxim.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello, my name is Svetlana.
Svitlana works as a maid at one of the capital's luxury hotels. She had been dating Maxim for 6 months. They met through mutual friends. At the time of Maxim's death, Svitlana was with her parents, and she still hasn't come to terms with the loss of the man she loved.
I just couldn't believe that it was Maxim lying there.
I'd like to ask you under what circumstances my brother died here, and who was involved in his murder.
As soon as we arrived, spirits started approaching us from all sides, and there were a lot of them. They all whispered that they died. They died unnatural deaths. But I wasn't sure if it concerned Maxim. Can I hold your hand?
My right hand.
Maxim. Blood on the ground, right here.
According to the police, the hit and run on Maxim occurred exactly where the psychic indicated.
I feel like someone is following him.
We believe it was a deliberate murder.
But I don't see any intent. I'm trying to stop a car.
A flash and light. Dazzling light. And a hit.
The vehicle wasn't large, like a sedan.
A Chevrolet Lacetti.
According to the police investigators, Maxim Okushko was hit by a silver Chevrolet Lacetti.
And then the body started rolling and rolling, and the flesh gets smeared. The soul flies away, but the heart still beats. It's not death, it's horror. I don't understand one thing. Why do you see intent, but I don't?
Let me summon his spirit. I need a crossroads. And I need his girlfriend.
I'm staying with the sister.
Give me your hand. I sense something. But it's not this man's spirit. He died of some cough, like tuberculosis. I don't understand what's going on. There's something dirty here, and it's sucking me in. I couldn't tune in to the victim's energy. Something, some force, was interfering with me. I need to consult with Elena.
Your brother loved you very much, but there was some misunderstanding. I asked him if he was upset with somebody, and he said yes, and pointed at you. Then he pointed far, far away. You left far away. He told me, "Why am I alone? I'm always losing everyone. Everyone is slipping through my fingers like water."
Anastasia often blamed herself for leaving her brother in Kiev. She says that maybe if she had persuaded him to move to Germany, the tragedy wouldn't have happened.
I told him, Maxim, maybe we should think about getting you here. But he always refused.
The man didn't want to leave Ukraine. He was sure that his life, his best friends, and his beloved girlfriend were here.
Come here. If birds fly, especially if it's doves, it's a symbol of the soul.
A black dove flew to the scene of the tragedy. The bird is behaving very strangely. It walks around the psychic and Maxim's sister, as if drawing some kind of circle.
I tried to summon Maxim's spirit, but a completely unrelated spirit came. I don't understand what's going on here. What's this place?
The spirits of the dead surrounded us and wouldn't let us work.
There's something wrong with this place. Some kind of magic. I've never seen anything like that before.
The psychics emphasize the unique energy of this place again. But what does it mean?
He shouldn't have died. Some force pulled him. It's connected to his friends.
I keep seeing number 4.
He wasn't alone. I see a man next to him.
There's a man over here. What's your name?
Sergei.
You knew him, didn't you?
He was my best friend.
Come over here.
Serhiy and Maxim had been friends since they were children, but at the time of the accident, Serhiy wasn't with Maxim.
There's some kind of seal. He's being pulled too. You need to watch out.
There's a threat to your life. This situation is connected to this place. I don't understand it at all. It's like a morgue here.
But how is it related to Maxim's death in the first place?
I'd like to talk to this woman. What's your name?
Lessa?
You were here. You walked along this sidewalk.
Yes.
It turned out that Lesia was with Maxim in the same company on that Christmas evening, and she witnessed the terrible tragedy.
We were walking here. A car was passing by. At first, it was going slowly, but then I heard the tires screech, and it sped.
Wait. A man is walking next to Maxim, and he's alive. They were both hit. Was it a hit aimed at both of them?
Yes.
There is another victim of the road accident. It's Maxim's friend, Pasha. The young man sustained significant bruises and abrasions and a concussion, but he survived.
Maxim went down, under the car's wheels, and the other guy flew over the hood.
Indeed, during the collision, Pasha ended up on the car's hood, which saved his life. But Maxim got under the wheels.
I'm not sure if there's really a threat to your life, but I think there is.
Does this mean this woman also has a shadow of danger following her?
Wait, there was a fight before that. Not here, somewhere else.
It happened over there. Can this man help us?
This is Oleg, another of Maxim's friends. He was also with Maxim when the tragedy occurred.
What trouble did you get into? What happened? Were you beaten? Were you robbed? I see you lose your wallet or something small.
Before the accident, Oleg had a fight. He was beaten and had his mobile phone stolen. He came to his friends Maxim and Pasha, asking them for help. They dialed his phone and arranged a meeting with the attackers to retrieve it.
That evening, Maxim and his friends went to the meeting to get Oleg's mobile phone back. A fight broke out during the conversation.
The driver of the car that hit the pedestrians was one of the participants in the argument. He demanded money for the phone he had taken from Oleg and was the provocateur of the conflict.
What happened to that car? It drove away with a screech of brakes. It's like the driver saw them walking on the road and hit the gas, as if the devil possessed him. And while he drove himself, some force controlled him.
It's like a graveyard here. Something will keep happening here.
But what is this place? Why is there such negative energy here? The psychics decided to walk aside and consult with each other.
I have the impression that something can happen to every person who lives not far from this place. The spirits are coming and surrounding us on all sides.
What do these terrifying visions mean? Perhaps everything will become clear in Maxim's home. That's where the psychics are heading now.
A woman's spirit. Let's go upstairs.
It smells death in here.
The entire building reeks of it.
Open up.
If I'm not wrong, the family used to live there.
Wait, I see a boy, a teenager. He jumped out the window. Bam! Maxim is telling me. He was also killed. A woman is crying. She's elderly. She's burying her entire family.
She was the last to go.
It turned out that a large family indeed lived in this apartment at one time. A grandma, her son, daughter-in-law, daughter, and grandchildren. But now the apartment is empty. The adults have passed away, and the grandchildren don't wish to live in this apartment.
She's holding a bucket. I'm afraid to go there. I don't know your name. You're the hostess here. What? There's a terrible smell.
What happened? Water.
Water, quick.
Olena! What's wrong? Back off, to get some air.
Her head is in the bucket of water. The water's hot. There's a terrible stench. Liquid. And in the liquid, a head is floating.
A horrific situation happened there. The grandmother was hacked to death.
Who did it? The hands are female, but the woman wasn't related to her.
It all started after Irina, the daughter-in-law of the oldest resident, Tonya, moved into the apartment.
They lived together, and everything was fine until Aunt Tona's daughter-in-law moved in.
After that, everything went awry. First, Tonya's daughter, Vera, ended up in prison.
She was sentenced to 3 years in prison for allegedly stealing some sweaters.
Then, Tonya's grandson, Vera's son, died under mysterious circumstances. The boy fell out of the 7th floor window.
It wasn't an accident that the boy fell out of the window. He became a victim of this sinister force.
Later, Tonya buried her daughter and son one after the other. However, what happened next is simply unimaginable.
A woman named Irina murdered her mother-in-law, Tonya, and dismembered her body. According to Irina, she boiled parts of the body in a pot, got rid of the innards by flushing them down the toilet, and carried the bones out of the house in garbage bags. Tonya's granddaughter, Vika, reported the murder to the police.
Her children arrived, entered the building, and then the apartment. They didn't like the smell in the apartment. Vika said she went to the kitchen, opened the pot, and saw her grandma's head in it.
That an ominous force is out hunting. It came out and is picking such repulsive, such cruel ways to drag, pull a person to the other world. Something's not right here.
Let's go outside.
I sense a woman. It's like one moment she was there, and the other she was lying on the ground.
A girl of about 20 years old that used to rent an apartment here jumped from the 8th floor.
There's a crowd of dead people. So many unnatural deaths.
To at least somehow clarify what they sense, the psychics go to speak to the building's old-timers.
Wait, a woman lived there. And a man. He was her partner, but not a husband. And there was a little girl, so cute.
About 5 years old?
And he beat her. And there's a tiled wall, a bathroom. And he takes her and hits her head against the wall. Bam. Did he kill her?
He did.
It turned out that another brutal murder happened in another apartment in this building. A stepfather beat his partner's daughter to death with a belt.
During the autopsy, they found a bruise on her liver from a belt. He beat her so badly that she died. She was only 5.
This is just terrifying. We haven't encountered so many horrible deaths in a small neighborhood with just 3 buildings. But what does it all mean?
There are corpses all around here. I need to go there. I see Maxim again. He's showing me an envelope. He draws the envelope with his finger, like this, and for some reason, he puts it on the ground. This is a sign written on the ground. What is the ground drawn on?
On a map.
But why a map? And how is it related to all these? And Maxim's deaths?
This sign is connected to the world of the dead and cemeteries.
The psychics walk away to the park.
I have a vision of something trampled on the ground, and I'm looking from above. And there were flashes in the corners. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
This is the drawing of the funnel. This is the drawing of death. 6 burning points, and for some reason, they're connected to the ground. 3 6s. I see a demon.
How awful.
Does this mystical energy really come from the 6 points? The psychics mark them on a map of the area.
Connect them. Look, it's an envelope.
Yes, it really looks so.
It turns out that Maxim showed me the envelope for a reason. These 6 points are like portals between our world and the afterlife. Connected to each other, they form the so-called Devil's Belt. And the neighborhood where we were is a link. One of the points in this belt.
Indeed, each of these points has extremely negative energy due to what happened there. In one of them, during World War II, Nazi soldiers shot and buried thousands of innocent people. In the second point, there are many fatal traffic accidents for no apparent reason. The third point is the famous mystical Witch Hill, The next three are places where large numbers of people are buried. Cemeteries, and also an old cemetery near the place where 32-year-old Maxim died.
The spirit showed us those 6 points so we could connect them.
As it turned out, not only psychics talk about such places, scientists also study them. There is a theory by American biologist Yvonne Sanderson. It talks about the so-called 5 points of the devil: the Bermuda Triangle, the Gibraltar Wedge, the Devil's Sea, and the African and Hawaiian anomalies. All these points are 6,666 kilometers apart from each other. 3 sixes are the number of the devil, hence the name of the anomaly. But what should the locals do now to protect themselves? Are their lives still in danger?
We will go to the courtyard of the building where Maxim lived. He will put up a protection from the demon. And I'll put protection from accidents, catastrophes, and spirits that may call and pull people to the afterlife. I need the people to make a circle.
Closer, closer.
Come up, everyone. Hold your hands.
I'm beginning.
Thank you very much for your help. You helped not only me, but many people.
If you were impressed by this story, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Many more stunning investigations by the psychics are coming up. A man made a deal with the devil himself to make easy money, though he eventually had to pay with the most valuable thing that he had. In this episode, you will hear a real story that will baffle you deeply. You are watching Psychics Investigate. Here, people who call themselves clairvoyants investigate mystical anomalies and resonant criminal cases. This woman is sure that some kind of otherworldly force has been killing her family. First, she and her husband almost died in accidents they both had in their cars. A moment before each of them happened, they claimed to have felt some invisible force control them.
I felt like I was in a fog. I had a feeling of being about to faint.
And then Anna's husband, Sergei, died of a sudden heart failure.
I loved him so much. It hurt a lot. It really hurt.
The man was 39. 2 boys, a 10-year-old Pavlo and a 4-year-old Dimitro, lost their father.
He was a very caring father. The boys loved him.
Her deceased husband came to her in a dream and warned Anna that she and their children would die soon. And the following night, Anna's younger son found himself on the brink of life and death.
He began vomiting.
The mother called an ambulance, but while the medics were on their way, the boy fainted. The medics, however, didn't find the cause for the boy's condition, and soon enough, Anna almost lost her life herself.
I was home alone. I was cleaning the kitchen and the fridge was connected to the extender. I clearly remember a punch on my back. I fell to the floor and overturned the bucket.
The water splashed on the extender, causing a short circuit. Anna miraculously managed to run out of the kitchen. Had she lingered a moment more, and the electricity would have killed her. The woman is certain all these events have been caused by the magic she found in her yard.
3 car air fresheners and a black thread ball.
I dumped them in the trash, but I had to burn them.
Anna's interpretation of the find is that the 3 car fresheners stand for 3 car accidents, and the black ball brings death. Anna Horbenko is 31. She's a psychologist, and she's always been skeptical about mysticism. But before he died, Anna's husband desperately wanted to see Yaroslava Fedorova, a witch and an expert of our project. Now his wife is sure that the man was right, and their family really needs help from the psychics.
I'd really like them to explain these things to me. How do I protect my boys from this?
The clairvoyant agreed to find out who has been exterminating the family with magic, and she's already working with the photo of Anna and her sons.
The card of the Harlequin, the fool. Something's wrong. I don't get it at all. This is nonsense.
Yaroslava Fedorova calls her colleague Zana Shulakova, who she asked to help her in the investigation the other day.
The cards won't listen to me.
The same here. No matter what I do, I keep getting some nonsense time after time.
The regular experts of our project set out for the investigation blindfolded. Usually, thanks to their cards and feelings, they understand, at least a little, what they deal with. Anna meets the psychics in town, and together they go to her place. There, the deceased Serhi's father is already waiting for them.
Where did you find the strange items?
Over there, under that tree.
I'd like to check the yard.
And I need water from this yard to read more information.
In the yard, the garage draws Jana Shulakova's attention immediately. What has the psychic felt?
Could you please leave me alone here?
Meanwhile, Yaroslava Fedorova is reading the information from the water.
I see a picture. A man. Pretty sturdy. And bald.
He is my husband.
He opens the gate. 3 people enter. One of them is a man. He's fair-haired and skinny. But his smile is rather weird. It looks really insincere.
He's from Serhi's work.
Serhi worked with the man with whom they were friends since childhood. They were classmates. They traded in different grains and oil-bearing plants.
Serhi and Yuri, former classmates, founded a business together, and their families were friends with one another. The man's business partner was a frequent guest here.
And a woman. She has long, fair hair.
His wife is fair-haired. This is Oksana. She's our child's godmother.
That woman envied the relationship within your family.
Yes, it's true. She told me herself.
Could the friend bring the magic?
I didn't feel the death-bearing energy from the earth in which the magic had been hidden. That is, the car crashes could have happened because of it, but not Serhi's death. The black thread ball was most probably aimed at losing money.
A year before the tragedy, Serhi really lost all his savings and ended up indebted. And the reason for that was that his partner convinced him to invest the money in a new project.
He invested quite a sum, but the business failed.
Serhi borrowed the half of the money he eventually lost from his father. Dimitro had made good money from mining crystals in Angola. After his son died, the man retired.
Something different took Serhi away, and it's not the magic that's threatening his family, but something else. I need Jana. God! Jana! Jana! People over here, quick!
Dimitro, something's burning here.
Call an ambulance.
God, there's something terrible there. The door closed itself, and then the smoke appeared. I tried to open the door to get out of there, but it felt as if somebody was holding it from the opposite side. I was trapped.
5 more minutes, and you would have been dead.
The ambulance arrives. The medics provided the psychic with the first aid.
This is some kind of unidentified gas. She breathed it. We provided the necessary aid and her condition is stable.
While Jana was coming to her senses, Yaroslava went to the garage.
It smells like sulfur.
What's the source?
I wish I knew. The car is in a good condition.
A person was murdered here. A person was cut and his blood was drained. It was an innocent soul.
Anna and her father-in-law say nothing, but it's apparent from their reaction that they're hiding some terrible secret.
Somebody killed a child here.
Yes. My husband killed my goddaughter.
This is shocking. Anna's husband murdered a 7-year-old girl, Sonia, in cold blood. How is it even possible?
And you were here.
Yes. I was with Sonia's parents there behind the garage, and we didn't hear any sounds. Nothing at all. Nothing caught our attention.
It happened in 2016. On a warm April day, Anna, her husband, and their friends gathered for a barbecue party while their children were playing nearby. Anna's father-in-law was working in the garden. Suddenly, Serhiy said he wanted to ride a bicycle.
Sonia stood up and said, "I'm going with you." Then we realized they never rode anywhere.
The man took the girl into the garage and slashed her throat. Serhiy came back half an hour later, alone, without Sonia.
He looked awful, like his face was a mask. I asked him, "Serhiy, where's Sonia?" But he only gave me an eerie look, then sat on the bicycle and rode away. I saw blood on him.
Everyone was scared with the girl's disappearance. They started searching for her and entered the garage.
Did you find her?
The girl's mother.
Basically, we did it together. I saw a sock. Then I found a piece of canvas in the bag, and there was the body under it. But I didn't notice that it lacked the head. Long story short, it had no legs, arms, or anything.
Gathering bags with the little girl's body parts in the garage, this man couldn't comprehend how his son could have done it.
I dragged Yana away from that canvas, and we crawled out of the garage on all fours. Her hands were covered in blood. How can someone do something like this? I don't know. Why?
I don't know how I didn't lose my mind. I'd seen many things in life, but it was awful.
Jana Shulikova goes back to the garage.
Oh my goodness.
He murdered her and...
The container over there.
Yes. Yes. The wheelbarrow with the blood was the first thing we found.
Serhiy drained the girl's blood into it.
The wheelbarrow, it was full of blood. We both cried, we wept, because we realized what was in it.
The whole town went searching for the murderer. The police arranged an ambush in the house in case Serhiy returned, and he did come back home at 12:30 at night.
He knocked on the window pane. I asked who it was. He said it was he. And that was it. I simply slipped down the wall. The shouts, the screams, the shots. My elder son woke up to the shooting. He heard it all.
However, the man didn't survive to hear his sentence. He died 10 days after he murdered Sonia. A day before he died, he asked to be transferred to cell number 13. There, Serhiy was found dead.
Acute ischemic heart disease.
So, this is how Anna's husband really died. Serhiy's neighbors still can't understand how the man who's lived next to them for so many years was capable of such cruelty.
He was a normal, absolutely adequate man. We never noticed anything unusual about him.
This is a photo of Serhiy a year before the murder, and this one was taken a week after it. What could have happened to him? What made Serhiy a cruel murderer?
We can't return Sonia or Serhiy, but we still can find out what influenced Serhiy and save Anna and her children from the imminent death.
We're going to summon the murderer's soul to ask him one serious question: why he did it, and what was controlling him.
The psychics begin performing the ritual. But something goes wrong.
I can't establish the connection, and I don't feel the soul. The soul belongs to somebody or something else.
Would you like to see the cue? Do you see the letter S?
Oh God, yes. I see it.
What did the S mean? Satan. The murder was a ritual. He sacrificed Sonia to Satan. But why would he do it? What did he want?
Our only chance to know the truth was to summon the spirit of the murdered Sonia. But to do this, we needed her family for the connection.
Sonia's mother, Yana, was Anna's best friend for years. However, after the tragedy, they can't talk to each other.
I'm hurt. I can't see her children because my child is gone.
We weren't certain whether Yana would agree to see us, but she still went outside. The woman wants to know why her family's friend took the most precious thing she had.
It's very important to me.
Take one stone, please. It's a partnership rune. It means that her soul, that is, she, agrees to communicate with us. I see her as a smiling child.
I see her in my dreams. She says nothing. She just presses herself to me and smiles. This is it.
I hear her saying, I wasn't supposed to be the first.
He also wanted to kill my 2 boys. The police found his notebook at home, and there were the names of my 2 children and Sonia written down there.
Like a list?
Yes. But she was the last one on the list. Pavlo was first. At the police station during the interrogation, he confessed that he was going to murder him first.
This is impossible to believe. Did Serhi plan to murder his own children? How can someone even think of such things?
Pavlo confirmed it to me, saying that all a week before, Dad had been constantly inviting him to walk in the woods. The 10-year-old boy asked me, "Mom, did Dad want to kill me in the forest?"
It turned out that apart from the victim list of the children, the police found another document among Serhi's belongings.
Was the contract with the devil, in which he promised to murder 3 children.
This was the reason his spirit wouldn't appear, was in the devil's hands.
All the last month, he spent most of his time in the kitchen. He drank there. He drank heavily. And he wrote something on some papers. When he went to work, he took them with him.
What was the form of the contract?
It was written on a piece of skin, like a cow's skin, or I don't know. It was skin.
In the old days, documents were traditionally written on parchment, the specially prepared skin of a cow or a calf.
He asked Satan for money. He asked for 1,700,000 pounds.
Wow.
And in exchange, he undertook to 3 children.
I can't wrap my head around it.
As Serhi confessed during the interrogation, he'd found the text of the contract online. It was the first contract with Satan in history. A French abbot wrote it with his blood on a piece of parchment in the 17th century.
A contract with the devil is deemed impossible to revoke.
So what do we do?
It must be fulfilled. This is why Anna's children are constantly on the verge between life and death. Their father's spirit is trying to kill them. He needs to fulfill the contract.
And Serhi's spirit is trying to get rid of Anna so she can't protect the children.
We need to go to the cemetery.
Anna's husband was buried far away, outside the town. We only arrived there after dark.
He didn't have the proper burial ceremony. They said such a person couldn't be buried in earth and that we had to throw his body in the river.
I wonder what he told you before the murder.
I'm going to do something that will shock everyone.
Why didn't you pay attention to it? You'll pay with your blood for it.
What do you mean?
You endangered your children. With your idleness, we need your blood.
Pierce your finger.
Sure.
It's burning blue. He's here. He says, "Thank you for taking her here." I finally realized why Serhiy wanted to see me while he was alive. He'd signed the contract, and after he saw what he'd done, he got scared. However, there are no recipes on how to annul such contracts online. He tried to change some conditions or other things before it was too late. He was trying to change it, but failed. And when he saw your daughter, he didn't expect it. And it pushed it to do it.
What happened? He didn't get it. Who did he kill? He didn't get it. Why did he do it? He didn't get it. He didn't get anything at all. He only understood what he'd done after he returned.
He came back home himself. Did he understand what he'd done?
That was why he came back. He understood he'd be imprisoned, and he wouldn't be able to murder 2 more children.
Where did he get the whole idea from?
The father's oppression. The father's oppression.
Serhiy's father provided for his family for a long time. All his life, Serhiy tried to prove to him that he was worthy, but he always failed to live up to his father's expectations.
He failed to keep his father's money, and his father started blaming him. His father always told him he'd fail.
He took the devil's side willingly. He was searching for the way to change his life and the world that surrounded him.
He brought such grief to the others that for it, he, bastard Red, will burn and die 258 times. You tell him what suffering he caused to you. Like him, you're also living in hell now.
Nobody speaks to this woman anymore. She bears a mark of the wife of the murderer who killed and dismembered the little girl.
Did he understand what would be next? Did he realize it?
He read that everything would be fine. These contracts, they're very tricky. They always state that you're going to receive what you want.
And you will get it.
But you won't be happy about the price you'll have to pay.
Could you please help me?
We had to try to delay the contract because it was impossible to revoke.
The psychics carried out the sacred rituals for about an hour.
If the buyout for the contract that he signed is accepted, we'll see the sign.
All the electronics went dead.
No way.
Satan.
The buyout has been accepted.
Yes.
The contract is frozen.
I realized where I was and what exactly we were doing at that moment. Thank you. I really hope to change my attitude to life, my attitude to Anna and her children. I really hope I can do it.
The inconceivable tragedy ruined the lives of the 2 families. It's impossible to say if the women will ever learn to live with this. The only thing is certain, though. The desire of easy money can indeed make a person lose their mind. If you're shocked by the story, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to our channel. A lot more incredible investigations by the psychics are waiting for you.